The Joe Rogan Experience.
What was the video, or was it just photographic, of the triangles in the sky?
So that's a big topic of debate, right? So that was from the USS Russell. So on the USS Russell, all we know is that in briefing documents that we were exposed to, and they have other sensor systems to determine shape, they said triangle by angle of observation, pyramid in shape. So I can't justify to the public the shape because it's just, if they change
Right.
their mind, hopefully they tell George.
Here's the other part that people leave out of this discussion. They say it's bokeh effect. It's actually showing stars in the sky. They leave out this little inconvenient fact is that they have a rangefinder on the ship. These things were 700 feet off the deck of the ship. If it was a star, it would have fried Earth into a cinder if it was 700 feet away. It's not a star. It was an object that was 700 feet off the ship. So,
There were two at that moment. So there's a briefing slide that we acquired and made public. And there was nothing in it to say it was classified. It was a briefing slide. And in that briefing slide, if Jamie finds it, it actually tells you, triangle by angle of observation, 700 feet off of the aft or whatever of the ship. So look, we're getting down to one piece of evidence. What people forget is that this was a 3-night event series with over 100 objects airborne at one time, surrounding 10 Navy warships. So the big question is, well, who knew our warships were there? And what Commander Fravor said at the hearing, we don't test experimental shit on ourselves without warning people that we're doing it. He's like, that would be really dangerous. And I'll give you an example. In 2019, one of the ships, I've spoken with one of the people fighting the ship. So they're called the TAOs, Tactical Action Officers. And what was reported to me was that when they were getting swarmed, that the admiral ordered, what's the name of that rail gun or whatever? I forget the name of it, some cool name, but it's like this really high-powered shooting metal up, and they're like, we had active flights. We had helos in the sky. Can you imagine somebody being like, we're getting swarmed, pull out the Gatling gun or whatever it is, I don't know. We're kind of, just to wrap this, is like 2019 is an important event because it's well documented. We were able to provide, not just from the USS Russell, not just from the Omaha, we brought witnesses forward. I think it was like episode 2 of our show. Like we had people come in with their testimony. It's an important case because swarms happen all the time on these training ranges, and with it, what appears to be an increased frequency. And people ask, why training ranges? And it might be because whoever these people are interested in what we're playing with.
the East Coast, we have a naval air station called Oceana. It's gigantic. It's the biggest naval air station on the East Coast. It's a key training range for all our naval aviators, the best pilots in the world. They fly out into this area, I think it's W-72, every day. I reported this in 2018. I think people thought I was making it up. But in 2014 and 2015, these pilots fly out into the same area every single day, and every single day they were seeing these unidentified objects sitting right there. They would sit there for days at a time, 30, 40,000 feet. It's not a balloon. They would just sit there in 100-knot winds right off the base so they could see what was going on at that base, see what training was going on. It was some kind of an observation operation, but we didn't know whose they were. Pilots would see them every day but wouldn't report it because they don't want to have to go through the hassle of, hey, you saw a UFO, fill out the paperwork, get interviewed about it. But eventually, when Jay Stratton became head of the UAP task force, he started talking the Navy into, come on, guys, we need to document this stuff. So pilots started taking pictures with their cell phones. They detect these things on their sensor systems, fly over by them, and get a couple of photos. There were 3 different ones that we made public. They don't look like the Starship Enterprise. They look just weird objects. We had no idea whose they were, but they were seeing them every day. And I know when we first reported that, people thought we were making it up. But
Yeah.
then Ryan Graves came out and said, yeah, it's true. We were
he
seeing
reported
them
it
every day.
years before. We hear stuff before, and everybody's like, "Oh, come on, every fucking day." Turns out it's true. But here's the deal: on the internet, they solved it. They're like, "These are all just balloons or cold birds,"
Yeah.
And here's the deal: pilots see that stuff all the time these are actual. You've heard the spheres, the cubes with spherical. Like, these pilots are not making it up. It's so weird to me. The internet can just like feel like they solved its balloons.